There we go. Now we're live.
Hello, beautiful people.
Good morning. Nice to see you all. Look how many people we already have on YouTube hanging out with us. Very
Yes,
cool.
yeah, I can see the comments. So nice. Good morning,
Good
everybody.
morning, everyone. I'm just going
So
to burn
nice
some
to
sage,
see.
as I
So
always
nice
do.
to see so many people.
We got so many new people hanging out with us recently.
Yes, yes.
Just lighting my giant sage here. Good morning. How is everyone?
Hi, Jennifer.
No pressure, Adriana, but we got 80 people watching within a minute.
Oh, wow.
I always said Adriana's so popular. I told her, I said, she's the next Bashar, but legit.
Oh, no, no, no. No, definitely not ready for that.
But you've been very popular recently. How far booked out with your sessions are you right now?
2.5 months almost.
Yeah, I've been keeping her very busy. Full schedule. Sending lots and lots of people to you.
Hi,
Well, it's
Bradley.
funny. Good morning, everyone.
Hi,
Bradley's
Shelly.
here. Oh, we love you, Bradley. How is everybody? It's been a rough week for me with this fast. I'm on day 6. Still drinking my lemonade. I'm still at it. How are you feeling? Everything good? You're in Grenada, yeah, so everything is good for
Yeah,
you all
the
the time.
weather is always nice. Yes.
You don't have to deal with this 20 degrees nonsense like I am.
No, no, it's always nice here. That's really nice. I'm a summer girl. I love summer, so I'm happy. I don't need winter or fall. Nothing like that.
Yes. And Adriana and I, we've only really known each other in this life for 1 year. But
Yes.
we've known each other for over 12,000 years, haven't we?
Yes. Yes.
I think meeting each other in this life was probably one of the biggest events of my entire life. Definitely. Reconnecting with Adriana and getting to know some of my galactic history. So I hope you don't mind. I'm just going to, rehash a little bit of this for those who are kind of new to the podcast. But the reason I had my spiritual awakening was due to an astral projection experience that I had 13 years ago, where my soul guides pulled me out of body and I got to have a face-to-face conversation with them. And that's when they told me that I'm a starseed, when they explained that I came from a planet called Era, and that I'm a Pleiadian. And I got to talk to a couple of my guides, and they told me all these things about reptilians and the Orion Wars a little bit, telling me just the basics, to skim the top, It was just a cream from the top now, knowing what we know now, really. But that led me down rabbit holes that changed my entire perception of reality. That changed everything to me. Finding out that I was a starseed and learning the difference, because I have always felt different. I used to joke, being a Star Trek fan, that I felt like a Vulcan in a world full of Klingons that didn't really understand me. I always felt like the odd man out, and then finding out that I was a starseed, it changed everything for me. And then, you know going down more and more rabbit holes, going and learning more about the quantum nature of reality and different races that come here and hidden Earth history, that it set me up in ways that I never expected my life to change. And Adriana has been helping many other starseeds in the same regard, helping them to understand who they are, where they come from, what their galactic history is about. And you've been changing lives all over the place now. You didn't just change my life, you're changing lives everywhere. I spoke with a student just yesterday who said that was one of the best things that I've ever experienced, was hanging out with you and getting to know some of their history.
Yeah, because explains a lot. Like especially for a new star seeds. Like I'm a new star seed as well, and I always felt weird here. I didn't feel at home here. I was very different from my family.
Yeah.
My family always called me eccentric because I was always doing my own thing, reading weird books, doing all kind of weird stuff. I went vegetarian when I was 16 years old. I worked with pendulum when I was 17, and that was a long time ago. That knowledge wasn't out there yet, and I was always different, and I didn't know why. And I went to India for 6 months to meditate when I was like in my early 20s. I learned meditation and things like that. I was always drawn to those things. I didn't know why. And there was not too many people around me like that. And then slowly, now just kind of recently, I find out more and more about the star seeds and who we are and the star seed veterans and earth souls. And finally, we have answers. Finally, the spirit guides are talking about who we are, where we came from. And that helps a lot to understand why you are the way you are, why you don't fit, why your family is not accepting you. And that's makes a big change in people's lives. They don't feel outsiders anymore. They finally remember who they are. Like they remember who they are. And slowly the memories comes back. Like slowly, then you start feeling yourself. And I think is very important.
I think a lot of us have always kind of, felt like the odd man out, like the black sheep, you
Yes.
know. I was definitely the black sheep of my family, and I still am. And they do kind of look at me funny. And I've always had out there interests, a bit taboo for them. And so finding out that there are people like me helped a great deal. People that are interested in the same things. And I mean, when you and I got to sit down for our first major Akashic record session and we learned about our galactic history,
Mhm.
it resonated. It explained everything, didn't it? It wasn't like this outlandish, crazy thing. It was like, holy shit, yes, finally it all makes sense.
Mhm. I'm glad I didn't know what was said because I will not agree to this conversation.
Yeah,
It
because
was
Adrianna is a trance medium. For those who don't know what a trance medium is, you go to sleep, right? You take a nap, and while you're napping, one of your soul guides comes in and speaks, through you.
yes. Yeah, like Bashar. We always laugh about like Bashar.
Yes. And your soul guide, Zach, he is a very close friend of yours from your home world. This is your first full human incarnation, right? This is your
Yes.
first time you've had a couple practice lives. Starseeds usually do have a
Yeah.
couple little research lives, as we call them. Yeah, getting to know their human body and the planet they're in. But then they come in for one big serious life, and that for a
Yes.
lot of people is right now, isn't it?
Yes, it's right now because this is the time then star seeds are needed. Because we're going through the shift, and star seeds bring the vibrations, very high vibrations from 5D world. That's why they're here. We are here to help with the shift. We don't particularly have to do anything special. We just need to be here because we carry the vibrations, the frequencies that are needed to help Gaia to elevate the vibrations.
So, what is the mission of a new starseed?
Just be here.
Just
Just
hold the
be.
light, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
So there's usually three things in Akashic Records reading for new starseed, because everybody is different. But for new starseeds, there's usually a couple of things. Just to be here, because we have the light from 5D, and just being here, that's good enough. And so we don't have to do anything particular. But of course, looking from perspective of soul growth, and that we are consciousness, eternal consciousness that never dies, we just learning and growing and learning and growing. We are here to be the light, but also we saw good opportunity to learn very different lessons,
Yes.
because all soul journey is very, very long. It's millions of years. Soul journey is millions of years.
When you say soul journey, you're talking about being that spark of consciousness that comes from source, taking a very simple body at first, like single-celled organisms or insects and that kind of thing, and working your way up to more and more complex bodies as you go.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, yes,
That's soul
because
evolution. Yes.
yeah, that's soul evolution, because when you split from source, you have to get used to the physical. You never had physical body, so you have to start small. Like you have to get used to the physicality. So you start small and then you learn and grow, and then you go to more complicated bodies like humanoid bodies or something like that. And then it's always about learning and growing, learning and growing. So and then we, I can only talk about stuff like that as a star seed. So we'll go to different planets and the lives will get more complicated. So let's say if you're a Nordic Pleiadian, you're kind of in the middle of the journey, because you have a lot of lives ahead of you, different lives. And I just want to say that I hear a lot, even on different mediums, talking about soul origin, and people ask them, what is my soul origin? And they say, oh, it's Orion or Pleiades. And it's like, I'm just shaking my head, because
Origin is source.
that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. You had lives everywhere on different planets, because every planet offers different experiences. Like, for example, Nordic Pleiadians are like the healers. They love nature. They were empathetic and very loving, and it's a very different from Engan Pleiadians, when they are warriors and
Yeah,
they
the Viking
sail,
Pleiadians.
and they very outgoing. And so you will never stay on one planet forever, because that doesn't make sense. You will learn everything is to learn. It's like sitting in grade 4 all your life. So you have to,
It's kind of
like
what Earth feels like. We're stuck in kindergarten.
yeah. So it's just like that. It's just basically learning and growing all the time. And then when you, like, you are Nordic Pleiadian, then you can choose different races. Like, usually I find out from the guides that we have 3 or 4 lives on one planet, in one race, and then we move on, because we learn everything there is to learn, and there's nothing there. It's like, we need to go. We need to try something else. It's like, you don't want to be in grade 4 the rest of your life. That's
Earth
kind of
is
boring.
complicated, isn't it? And there's something I also wanted to talk about for those who are kind of new to my page and podcast, and that is a veteran starseed.
Yes. Yeah.
Veteran starseeds are very different to new starseeds. I myself am a veteran starseed. And when we say veteran starseed, we say meant that because you've been here quite a while. Most of them have been here. I would say, what qualifies a veteran? Maybe over 500 years, give or take. Would you say they've been stuck here at least 500 years?
Yeah. I had galactic souls. They've been stuck here for 200-300 years.
Really? And do you think they kind of got that thicker skin and
no, they're more like starseeds.
Of like a new starseed and a veteran then, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, they are like starseeds, but with major trauma, because they didn't volunteer to be here. They did not volunteer to be here.
That's like, the kicker, right? That you chose to come to Earth and have the Earth experience versus coming here for a quick mission and then getting killed and then getting stuck here in our Earth reincarnation cycle.
That's right.
So it's complicated. One of the things that I've been discussing with Adrianna is about veterans and about some of the trauma that they carry from lifetime to lifetime, especially in regards to, battles. We've been fighting on this planet for a long time. Myself, Adrianna, it's a long story, has looked at many of my past lives, and in almost every single one of them, I was killed in battle, wasn't I?
Oh, yeah.
So being in it's a long story, but we were killed during the Orion Wars, Bradley and I anyway, and we've been kind of stuck here on Earth since the whole Tiamat disaster 12,600 years ago. And we were very close friends with Adrianna when this happened. So, you know, we got kind of lost, didn't we? And when we died, there was nobody knew where we went or what happened.
No, I couldn't find you. I tried, but I couldn't find you. It was just big mess after the war. Everybody were trying to rebuild and things like that, and there was no technology to, because every soul carries a soul signature, and you can find the soul if you have equipment. Otherwise,
we didn't have that equipment. That technology didn't exist.
No. So there was so many different souls stuck here on Earth. Some came as refugees, some just like you end up here, and then even over time later, like 500 years ago, or 1,000 years ago, or a few thousand years ago, souls, galactic souls, were coming here all the time. They were helping humans with different things, like, and then Pleiadians were helping the northern part of Europe to just evolve, like helping humans with hygiene, agriculture, and other things, right? So, and then if you lose your life here, you the consciousness. Wow. So there's many veterans.
I think the veterans carry a special, it's almost like we don't fit in with the earth seeds here. So an earth seed is somebody that's been evolving most of their lifetimes on earth. They've just been here. Some of them have been here hundreds of thousands of years and evolving their consciousness mostly on earth. So they're the ones that kind of feel comfortable here. This is their, you know, this is their planet. This is their home.
Yeah, they understand this. They understand this place.
Yes. And so you also get a mix of that. So you get the earth seeds who feel very comfortable here. Then you get the new star seeds who are like, whoa, what have I gotten myself into when they come down here? And then you get the veterans who are a bit jaded, right? We didn't plan to come here. We didn't choose the earth experience. It kind of chose us, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So a veteran usually does end up kind of having abandonment trauma to heal, frustrations with being stuck, a sense of exhaustion just from repeating cycles over and over again, and a lot of karmic shit to balance, huh?
Oh yeah, because like, you know, you've been here for over 12,000 years, so you get yourself on the wheel of karma because it's impossible not to. So yes, but but everybody is just everybody, starseed veterans and earth souls are sick and tired of what's going on. The earth souls are suffering because they seeing the beautiful planet that they love so much being destroyed by dark entities, corporation, and whatever. So they are sick and tired of this nonsense. Veterans are exhausted, and starseeds are looking at things like, what the heck is going on here? So
the new starseeds are like, whoa, this planet's crazy. And they don't fit in, but the veterans don't feel like they fit in with the new starseeds or the earth seeds, do we? Most of the time, we just kind of feel like loners that have been stuck.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm.
And when a veteran dies, and let's say that they have balanced all their karma, that they have done all of the hard work of healing themselves and healing their trauma and standing in their power, they do get to go home, don't they? Now after this.
Yes, absolutely. That's the goal.
So going home, it's kind of a complicated subject. And I've been wondering about this myself, being a veteran. I'm like, does this mean this is my last Earth life? Yes, it is, right? If everything keeps going on track, this is my last time I have to take a human body. And many other people are kind of in the same boat. So what happens when you die? They open a portal, right? And you step into the portal and you go home. And then you go through the reincarnation cycle on your home world. So you go through the planning stages and getting to know, you know, the whole, it's a very different reincarnation cycle when you're born off Earth, I should say.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And you choose your next incarnation, but not as a human. You choose your next incarnation either on the planet that you were just before you came here, or you can choose something totally different.
Yes. That's a very exciting thought. You do something different. When you've been stuck with the human body for 12,000 years, and then you realize, okay, now it's time I can start checking out other bodies and
Yes.
start having new experiences. So Brigitte wanted to know, how long will the humans be stuck? Well, the 5D shift is changing things, isn't it? That's why we're so excited about the changes that the new star seeds are bringing. But that's just a small part of it, right? Like the sun is starting to evolve, Earth is starting to evolve, and all of these things are adding up to create this rise in consciousness for the entire planet.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, everybody doing their part. You know, a lot of, you can see earth souls are going back into nature. They just getting really connected to Gaia. They living different lives. They moving away from big cities and things like that. They just sick and tired of, they going through their awakening as well. So everybody is equally important, and everybody is doing the job that they came here to do. And the veterans clearing their karma, balancing their karma, they rising their vibrations as well. So that's very, very important.
Yes. And how was that shift going anyway?
I heard yesterday that is going good.
I guess we can ask Zach a little bit about that, your guide.
Yes, yeah, we can ask him later, sure.
Do you mind telling us a little bit about Zach for the people who haven't seen one of your podcasts before?
So Zach is Solatian Pleiadian. Solatians Pleiadian are not very well known because they are introverted, and they have 3 planets, small planets they live on, and their role in this galaxy is to keep everything in balance. So they meditate a lot. They don't really go and interact with anybody else. They don't let anybody on their planet. Even during Orion War, they didn't let anybody on their planet. It's because they really keeping things.
Their vibration is so high that if they were to let another race come in, that would lower their vibration, because that other race wouldn't have such a high vibration as they do.
So they don't have visitors. So they very, very isolated, and that's how it's been. And they just meditate a lot and keeping the vibration high in the galaxy. Their job is to keep the vibration high to balance the lower vibration.
Yes.
Because everything in the universe have to be balanced. I hear this all the time, almost in every session that I do with the guides, is everything have to be balanced all the time. So
yes.
So they keep the balance in this galaxy.
And they're helping us do that on Earth a little bit now, aren't they?
Yeah. Yes. So of course I chose to be here. There's many reasons why I chose to be here, and the plan. I just want to say that everybody doesn't matter if you're starseed veteran, or you Earth soul. You make a plan before each incarnation, and it's very different making the plan when you are just consciousness without the body, especially human body, because human body is very different. Humans have the largest amount of emotions, and then you have to deal with that emotions, and you have free will. So it's a little different when you are here within the body, but when you're making a plan, it's a little bit different. Yes. So anyway,
plans can change, can't they? Especially with everybody's free wills competing, and the fact that your memory isn't so great when you come down here. And so that's why we have soul guides in the first place, right? They help us keep on plan.
Yes, because when we come here, we don't remember who we are, why we're here, what we're supposed to do. So the spirit guides that we have, they responsibly, and I'm talking about the personal companion spirit guides. They keep eye on the plan, because we can't remember. So you basically give your plan to somebody you know. The spirit guides, not strangers. They're always somebody you know, because you wouldn't invite a stranger on this journey. This is very personal journey. Yes. So you give the plan to your spirit guide, and they make sure that you do everything you plan yourself to do. So if you chose specific lessons for your soul growth, they have to be sure that you're going to do that. And sometimes is
job, isn't it? They have to put you into some pretty precarious situations sometimes if that's the lesson you chose, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I know. Tell me about it. So,
It's got to be hard for them because they love us so much. That's why
yeah.
they agreed to be our guides in the first place. They just have so much love for us.
Oh yes.
And so to notice that they also have to kind of get in the way of our happiness when it's not serving our highest good sometimes, you know what I mean? Like sometimes we get a rude awakening and our guides kind of inspire that, but it's all for the sake of growth and healing and in regard to stepping out of our comfort zone sometimes.
Yes, because you, as a consciousness, you wanted to learn those lessons for your soul growth. It's the I know how hard is to listen to that, because I am in a human body too. I know. So, but when you in the different state, you're not in a human body, you want to learn very difficult lessons. And you plan those lessons because you know it's for your soul growth. So it's the same like you teaching a little child to do something, to do a chore, and it's very difficult for the child to do so, but you know they have to learn that because they can move on. Like they have to, like for example, tying the shoes. It is very hard for a little child to tie the shoes, but you know they have to learn that. So that's from this perspective. You have to learn that. You the same with other little chores for children. They have to learn to move on. So so that's how exactly they look at us. And I know it will be very different when we leave the body and we look at this life from different perspective. Not being into the body, it will be very different. It will be like, oh, I could do better. This could be changed, and it will be totally different perspective.
Yes. Somebody just asked, what's the difference between a new starseed and a veteran? It's usually the mission is different. New starseeds are here to help with uplifting the shift and helping the earth go through its changes and being the light, so to speak. But a veteran is somebody who's here to kind of balance their karma, to heal, and to step in their power so they can go home. Because many of the veterans didn't choose to be here. So coming back to that is, I think, a big trauma for a lot of them, is the fact that they didn't get a choice in coming here. And Earth is complicated because we do have, for lack of a better word, glitches in the matrix that make it very complicated here for souls. Death loops aren't really supposed to be a thing, are they? That's something when you die, sometimes in a very traumatic way, you relive your life over and over again, but only the moment of your death. So it's kind of like a record skipping, but it's your death moment. And things like that isn't supposed to happen. And that creates additional trauma for a lot of people. But also, this planet is very difficult for, I think, people that come from outside, regardless of when you came here, because we have a lot going on here that you don't normally have off-world. In fact, some would argue that the Orion Wars on Earth never ended. It might have ended for a big other majorities of the galaxy that is no longer dealing with some of these threats that we are here. But it's just very interesting to see how all of this has kind of created this bubble of, it's like a melting pot. It's a mix of everything. You get the light beings who want to come in and help, and then you get the dark beings that are exploiting all of the suffering that's here, and you get everything in between that. So you never really know which way your path is going to go when you take a body, do you? You could stay on your path your whole life, or you could go wildly off path and wind up in a place that you wouldn't expect, or you could even get hit with entities the minute you get down here. We've seen that a lot recently, have we? Where even children are getting psychic attacked because they're bright star seeds.
Yes, exactly. And that's just so sad.
And this creates a great deal of trauma. Entity-induced trauma is quite a thing, but also it creates physical trauma to the body. The body will end up damaged through these psychic attacks. And then we have a lot of clients that come to us and they say, what is the lesson in this? We hear that a lot, right? Every time you have suffering, every time you're in pain, we've been taught through many different gurus that, you know, this is a lesson for you. This is something that you chose for yourself, so you would learn from it. But when we tune into the Akashic records of many new starseeds, we find that's not always true, is it?
No, it's not true, because people have to understand that a new starseed come here without any karma. You never been here, so how possibly you can have any karma? But when people go to some mediums that they don't know anything about starseeds or anything of that, or the shift, as soon as you mention, because I was one of them too, as soon as you mention that you have, you know, something really horrible going on in your life, oh, it's karma from before because you were this and that, and the story goes on. And then it's like, no, you as a new starseed, you don't have any karma. Yeah. You never been here before. So how possibly you can have anything going on? So it's like, no. And if something horrible happens in childhood, that's not a lesson. There is no lesson
in childhood like that.
Being beat up or abused in early childhood. There is no karma, there is no lesson.
Karma, you're not even old enough to learn the karma or the balance, you know what I mean, to balance the karma or learn the lesson at that age.
You're not even comprehending what is going on. You're trying to survive. Because I'm even talking from my own experience. So like, then I was on a quest all my life, trying to figure out why this happened to me. And I was asking different gurus, different mediums, and I got all different answers. And then when I start talking to the guides, galactic guides especially, my guide, and we confirmed that with totally different guides, then they confirm, no, you would not choose that. You need to be actually grown up to start. Even as a human, you have to know, you have to be conscious what is going on. You have to know what's right and what's wrong. You cannot, if you get abused at age 3, what kind of karmic like payment is that? Like, you don't, this is just so much trauma. Like, you're just learning so much trauma. You're learning, trying to survive.
And a lot of people, even going through all of that, you know, trying to find meaning in their suffering, and then they come for an Akashic record session. What is it like to find out that for many of those people, it's quite a shock, isn't it, to learn that you've been suffering for no fucking reason?
Yes, because the person chose this behavior. And sometimes the person, of course, was
influenced by entities.
Very often that was the case.
But entities are very attracted to starseeds. They stand out, right? They get a brighter light. They've got more of a, you know, an attention that grabs them. And so entities will even target you when you're a newborn.
Oh, yes. Yes, we can see that all the time when we're doing clearings for children. Parents reaching out, and we're doing clearings, and we can see right away, like a 1-year-old already is being attacked by dark entities and things like that. Because the problem is that they know who you are, and you don't know who you are.
Yeah.
And your parents don't know who you are, because we don't remember anything here. So, but when sometimes people come to talk to me during the session, and they already have, I believe it's for survival, because they had so much pain and suffering in their childhood or early age, like early years in their life. And they like, okay, you know, that was karma, I'm okay with that. And then it wasn't. It was the person that supposed to be your parent and supposed to take care of you. It chose to abuse you. And they make a choice. And of course, entities were involved in this.
And then the starseeds end up beating themselves up, going, what did I do? Why did this happen to me? Why me? And then they blame themselves. They get guilt.
Yeah.
They have all kinds of emotions that are wrapped up into all of this that happened, and they don't realize it just happened because because you're a bright light, and
Mhm.
they want that energy.
Yes, and they don't want you here.
They
Like they
don't want
don't
you
want you
here
to be
helping.
the light here. They want to keep the vibration low as possible. They don't want you here. So yes, and I can speak from my experience. But of course, I didn't know anything about that till later in life. I learned that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it is very sad.
So learning this kind of helps you to empower yourself, doesn't it? When you learn whether or not you're an earth seed or a veteran or a star seed, and you're
Yes.
learning your life mission and why you're here, your life purpose,
Mhm.
it does change your whole perspective on life. But I think even more so, I think Akashic records are valuable for understanding our relationships. It's not just about understanding ourselves, but understanding the context through some of our most challenging relationships, because we find a lot in regards to karmic relationships too with people.
Oh
So,
yes, yes.
and we also find, what else is interesting? We find a lot of couples too, where it's a new starseed coming in to help a veteran.
Yes,
So
very
the wife will
often,
be a
very
new
often.
starseed and the husband will be a veteran, or vice
Mhm.
versa.
Yes, oh, absolutely. Because the new starships will come to elevate the veteran
That's
with their
beautiful.
vibrations. And if they have children, the children are starseeds too. So they helping, all of them helping the veteran to raise the vibration, to maybe go through some awakening, realization that this is not just, about working and sleeping and eating. This
Yeah.
is more to life than that. And very often this happens. So it's a great combination
And it
because
is possible too. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. It is possible that they knew each other in past lives too, right? That
yes,
they,
always,
yeah.
always, we always knew each other. Yeah, you wouldn't go to a stranger. Like you knew each other somehow. Mhm,
Oh, that's beautiful.
mhm.
So for people who are trying to kind of suss out which of them they most likely are, how do you kind of tell the difference? How can you feel about yourself in that regard as to how, like a new starseed, what would you say is the most obvious thing about a new starseed?
They don't feel at home here. They terrible with money because they don't understand money at all.
No, they don't.
They come from the world when there's no money and they're like, what is this? What am I supposed to do with that?
Nonsense. Yes.
So they are just terrible with money. They usually looking for unconditional love in the wrong places
Mm,
because they come from the place when it's unconditional love. It's not perfect. I'm always telling people that, let's say Pleiadians, all different Pleiadians, they still have physical bodies, they still have personalities, so they are not perfect. They still there's conflict.
they're
There
learning
is,
boundaries. They're learning how to not be so naive down here a little bit. They're a bit
no,
too trusting.
I'm just talking about something different.
Oh, okay.
um, is basically like when you on living as a Pleiadian, there is personalities. They are all different, so there is not all lovey-dovey. No, it's not like that. They still in physical form, so there can be a conflict. They don't have to agree to everything.
Oh, I
They
see.
have personalities, but they don't hurt each other because they communicate telepathically. So if I say something hurtful to you, telepathically I can sense your emotions. I can sense that you are unhappy and sad, so basically I can feel those emotions. So it's like I be hurting myself. So I'm not going to say something very hurtful because I'll be hurting myself. They understand that they are one, which
Yes.
humans are don't. So it's not lovey-dovey. Yes, no, like they won't stab you in the back or anything like that. But they're not perfect because they still in a human form. I mean, like a physical form, so that they're not perfect. But anyway, but they have unconditional love. Everybody have unconditional love to each other. So when they come here on Earth, they looking for unconditional love. But as we know, that doesn't exist here. unless you have a dog or a baby, then you have unconditional love. Because I don't even think cats can give you unconditional love.
Depends on the cat, I guess.
Uh,
Mm.
so they looking for unconditional love. They quite naive because they never been here. They don't understand how thing works and how there could be a
A little
deception.
backstabby down here, and that's very
Yeah,
off. Yeah, that's not what they're used to.
and
Yeah,
they don't understand that. So they quite naive, and they very trusting.
yeah. Veterans have learned to be a bit more guarded.
Yes,
Veterans have learned to put on some armor, so to speak. Yes.
yeah, that's for sure.
Yes, we also do end up with a bit of a chip on our shoulder, especially in regards to other humans sometimes. In my youth, I did not really like other people very much.
Mhm,
I had a very big chip on my shoulder, especially in regards to religion as well.
mhm.
Being raised as a Christian, and I think a lot of us when we come down here, even as a veteran, a lot of us just look at the way the state of the world, and we think, what the hell? Why is this even like this? This doesn't make sense. There's so many things about this planet that don't make sense to us
Mhm.
because it's nonsense.
Yes, it's
Like, why is
amazing.
this happening? Using money, for an example, is a great way of putting it because a lot of starseeds do struggle with that. They have a really hard time with understanding a concept that they don't even see a purpose of using. It's so archaic.
Yes. And sometimes I talk to new starseeds, and the guides are saying the guides are giving them advice like, you need to start thinking better about the money because as soon as you get money, you spend it all.
Ask
So,
your soul guides for help in that regard and make sure that you're asking because sometimes the guides if you're not asking they can't help and you really have to be specific. Like,
yes,
don't just say help me get more money. Say, I would really like this particular job, or I would really like to have this kind of study and go into this kind of a career. Help me do that. Help guide me to do that. And if you are following your highest excitement, right, that's
yes,
kind of your way of knowing you're on your path and that your guides are cheering you on.
yes. If you love something and you pulled towards this direction, then that it means is for you. You plan this for yourself. If you sitting on the fence with something, it's like, I'm not sure about that. Well, that's not for you. Because if it's for you, you're gonna go head first. And it's like, yay, this is awesome. I love that. And
Yes.
that's exactly what you plan for yourself.
I can't believe we have 533 people watching right now.
But we were saying actually about Zach, who he is and where he came from. So, but then we went all over the place with,
I love
starting.
our conversations. Adriana and I spend hours talking almost every day, just chit chatting and going into the Akashic records and learning things about ourselves and the world, and I just love our conversations. But I also love chatting with Zach. I love chatting with your guide. He's almost become one of my guides. We're so close to. I think of him as also it's kind of like we're sharing Zach a little bit,
Yes, yes.
because
When
he's
I'm just doing nothing at home, I'm very introverted. I'm extremely introverted because I'm a Solatian Pleiadian as well. I don't crave human companionship at all. All my life I try to be by myself, and I'm happy with that. And so when I'm at home, just doing my chores and things like that, then and you are busy driving all over the United States,
It was
then
so funny. Yeah, Zach did it to me the other day. I was driving back from upstate New York, and I kept seeing like 111, 777. Sevens are Zach's number, right? So I'm seeing sevens everywhere. And I'm like, and then I kept seeing just numbers just all over the place. And I was wondering, I was like, I wonder what's going on. So I texted Adriana and I was like, I think Zach is here hanging out or something. And it was also funny too because I forgot about that, right? I said, I wonder who's doing this. Who's showing me all the numbers, right? And then the van in front of me had Zach in the license plate. I took a picture of it. I sent it to Adriana. I was like, I was wondering who was sending me so many numbers. And look, it says Zach right on the license plate. When I asked, not even a minute before, who's doing this? They like to play that game, don't they? They can kind of mess with the matrix in that regard and
yes.
alter NPC vehicles and
Oh,
people
yeah.
and
Oh, yeah, yeah. I experience that all the time when like people already know the story. When I was caught in a horrible landslide, over a year ago, I was driving, and it was a horrible weather, and I'm in the mountains, and there was a lot, like the mud was coming from the mountains, and I got flat tire, and it's pouring and raining, like pouring and raining, and I got flat tire, and I couldn't go anywhere, and out of nowhere, like out of nowhere, in this horrible rain, two young guys show up, and they like, we're gonna help you, and I'm like, oh my god. So I give him, I wanted to come out of the car, but they says, no, stay in the car. I just give him my umbrella, because I always have a bunch of umbrellas in the car, and they just changed my tire, because I always have a spare tire. Being in the mountains, you have to have. And then I look in their eyes, and they were different. They were like so loving and nice. They were just like, and of course I wanted to pay them, and they're like, no, you don't have to pay them. But I basically give them the money. It's like, no, you have to take it, and take the umbrella too. It's like, and they just disappear. There was a white van parked on the side of the road. They went to the van, and they disappear. And I'm like, what was that? What just happened?
Wasn't one of them named Bradley?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, we have a mutual friend named Bradley, so that was another big, flag there.
And that was so fast, and the rain was pouring. The mud is coming, so I'm trying to get out of the mountains, to get home, and it's like, what just happened? Like, what was that? So they can do that. The spirit guides can go in the NPC body and
those are
help
Solatians that jumped in NPC bodies to come in and help her out.
And then I was it was a really dangerous situation. I still have PTSD from this horrible experience. And when I came home and finally like sit down, and I was like, what is going on? And then Zach is like, I'm glad you're okay. Like, we tried to help. I'm like, oh, wow. So they can do that. And when I go to town and I have like 45 minutes drive, I always play game with Zach to show me
license plate numbers. Yes.
Yeah, because that's very easy for them to make. And it's like 777 or 444. That's Bradley's guide too.
We were playing the game, and Aiden loves playing the game too, so he'll be looking out for numbers. And as we were driving home, we saw the name Zach on the license plate, and I was giggling about it. And I told her what she's like, yeah, Zach's bored. He's hanging out with you, making sure your drive is going safe. And I was like, thanks, Zach. And not even 5 or 10 minutes later, Aiden goes, Mommy, look. And we look over, and there's Evanon in big, bold letters on a billboard. Evanon is the name of Adrianna's other body, the one that got into the pod to come here as a starseed. That's her other name, is Evanon. And it was in big letters, in bold. And we were like, holy shit, he's good.
Yeah, they can do that thing. They can do that.
I sat down with Zach later on. I was like, how did you do that? And he's like, just good like that. He's amazing.
Yes.
But they can really, I mean, wow, the things that they can do, especially the Solatians. Like, they're so cool.
Yes.
Well, do you mind since we still got over 500 people watching, shall we bring Zach in? And we'll do the clearing on everybody and have a little chat with him? You guys can ask some questions about Zach. Cool.
And I just want to say, if you have little children, think about those children around you, because they may need a clearing too.
Yes. So when you ask for a clearing, in a moment, we'll call Zach in and the Solatians will come in. We have over 100 Solatians that come in to do clearings. So they will be able to clear everybody, even though we have over 500 people watching. So we will be able to check everybody. What they normally do is just clear the person there. But if you ask them to clear somebody else, either in the home or if you don't ask, you don't get, right? That's one of the biggest things to say with soul guides. So you can ask in the chat, or you can ask out loud, even as they come in to check whether or not you want the clearing.
Yes.
And yes, you can even ask them to clear your pets. Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Every time Zach clears my mom, he checks her horses. He's so sweet.
Yes. They love animals, of course. So I just want to quickly say that Zach is very tall. He's 7 feet tall. He's wearing white and gold robe. And he have a very long white hair, and they kind of like albino looking. So their brows are white as well. They slim and they very gentle, very loving. But again, they have different personalities, the same like we are.
And they have slightly pointed ears like the elves. They kind of remind me of the elves from Rivendell.
Yes, yes, they have the pointy ears, yes.
Cool. All right. So we'll bring the man of the hour in.
Okay, so I'll see you in a bit. I'm just gonna take a nap and come back
I was
later.
gonna say Adrianna doesn't remember anything from when Zach comes in. You take a nap most cases. I mean,
Yes.
you can kind of do your own thing, but in most cases you're kind of off doing whatever when you're
Yes,
when you're in the passenger seat.
Mhm. Sometimes if I hang around, like when we're doing clearings, I hang around and I hear things, but I don't remember later. Like
Yes.
or later, I can't remember. So, mhm. So
All
I
right.
see you in a bit.
See you soon. So wonderful to have so many people with us today. This is, I think, my most popular podcast yet. I need to have Adrianna on here more often. Amazing. I'm gonna have to read through all the comments later. There's wonderful comments up here that I'm trying to keep up with. Adrianna has extensive passwords with her soul guide. Extensive. In fact, I'm pretty sure he has to sing 3 songs before he can even get in. So she doesn't mess around when it comes to imposters. So Zach really has to prove himself every time he wants in the body. So it takes a few moments. The Solatians can see the chat. They're monitoring everything you guys are saying, just for the record.
Hello, Hara.
Hi, Zach.
And hello to all the people watching the podcast.
How are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
May I please validate first, Zach, are you from the highest of light and serving the highest good of humanity?
Yes.
Are you from the highest of light and serving the highest good of humanity?
Yes.
Are you from the highest of light and serving the highest good of humanity?
Yes.
Thank you, Zach. Even though I'm very used to your energy and I recognize your voice, we always ask, don't we?
Yes, you always should.
Yes. So it's wonderful to have you here, Zach. I can't believe we have 551 people watching as we speak.
That's a lot of people.
That's the most we've ever had on a podcast. I wasn't expecting that today. I hope we have a large team with us.
Yes, we always have large team.
Thank you. So can we ask that everybody get a clearing today?
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much. And many thanks to your team. I'm so glad you have so many wonderful people helping you. But it hasn't always been that case, has it, Zach?
Oh, no. I started just by myself.
Shall we rehash a little bit about that, how we started a year ago?
Yes, of course.
So Zach and I worked together for the last year doing clearings. But to be honest, I feel like it's been much longer considering how much we've accomplished in that year. It feels like it's been several years, doesn't it?
Yes, it's been very busy year.
So when we first started, we didn't have as much backup as we do now. We were kind of just starting out and just starting to get a little bit of attention from other galactics in regards to helping down here with clearings.
Yes, it was just me because I had a plan that we made with Adrianna, well, Evanon at that
I was
time.
going to say with Evanon, yes.
Yes, and Evanon is my friend. And so he asked me to come and help him with this particular mission. And of course, you are Lara was there to be part of the plan. So we created the plan, and it was just me. So I started doing the clearings, and it was a little bit overwhelming, and it was a little bit difficult for me. So I start asking people on my planet, my friends, if they wish to help me. And they decided they wish to be here to help as well. So I am the spokesperson, but they are helping me, and we have around 100 Solatians helping, and we also have other races helping us because we are not a warrior race. I am not going to fight reptilian combat style. I am not. I am definitely not trained in this kind of work. So we have other galactic races.
Your people meditate a lot of the time. You create art and music, and you study life, and you keep the universe in balance. I bet it must have been kind of crazy when your friend came to you and said, "I want to travel across the universe to go and help a human."
Yes, I think he's still crazy.
Even you needed to develop technology to even find us, didn't you? You guys created technology that allows other races now to find other people that they lost in the Orion Wars.
Yes, because Evanon wanted to find you, and Bradley, that was his mission for many incarnations after the Orion War. So he was really focused on that for 10,000 years almost. And he was really needed that technology. So we are very good with technology. So we developed that technology to help him to find you and Bradley. But of course, the technology was very helpful to other races. So we shared the technology so all races could find their own souls that got lost here. And that's how everything started.
And lots more star seeds are coming in, huh? New star seeds are coming in to help their friends now. People that they've lost.
Exactly. Yes, that was a snowball, and I'm very happy about that because so many souls needed help. They needed help to go home. So when this happened, he asked me to help him, and of course I said yes, and that's how it started.
Yes. And so when it sounds so out there. You know, we've seen so many what do you call it? Sci-fi movies. And you start hearing about things reptilians, and it's hard to fathom when you can't even see that they exist here. But they're very real, aren't they? They're everywhere.
Yes, of course.
Yes. And we deal with reptilians on a daily basis now. And part of the reason that the Solatians are here helping is it's kind of a monumental task, isn't it? What's happening here on Earth?
Yes, we're trying really hard to raise the vibrations because the more people stay in high vibrations and stay sovereign, then the shift will happen quicker.
Yes. So many races are invested in this shift.
Yes.
Just Pleiadians, but Andromedans and Arcturians and Syrians and people even from Orion that are here trying to evolve and change and help.
Yes, absolutely.
So how is it looking from your side? It's a bit hard to tell from our perspective. How's the shift going?
It's going quite well. The momentum is quite good and it cannot be stopped. They're trying, as you can see what's going on, they're trying to lower the vibration of the planet, but we have to remember that Gaia make a decision, and she make a decision to ascend. And when she make a decision, that's the first step. And then we are just here to help because she tried to do that a few times and it didn't go well. And then she called for help. And that's how everything started with the star seeds.
So, from your perspective, Zach, and Zach and I were just chatting about this the other day, because I watched a recording from a year ago of just one of our conversations, and I noticed how different you are now, Zach, after a year of hanging out with me, doing clearings with me, and doing teaching and all of these wonderful things and assisting the soul guides, not just training us here, as humans, but you're even training other people's soul guides. And you're very invested in this, for lack of a better word, fight that we're in down here. How has that changed you as a Solatian, coming from a planet where everybody just meditates and comes from love and light and is almost even at the point of becoming light beings?
Yes, yes. We, after being a Solatian, you can become a being without the body. There is many different choices, but
Angelics and that sort of thing.
well, there's other races that also have very advanced, but not necessarily angelics, that they have light bodies. But they have different jobs, let's say that.
Yes.
So yes, it's like we are still in physical form, but we are also not. I'm not sure how to explain that.
Yes.
So yes, it was just me when we started this over a year ago. And I didn't understand Earth. I didn't understand anything what is going on here. But being here for for quite a long time and doing clearings with you every day, I've seen so much horror that it changed me, because it's the same like you will send a young person to a war. After 1 year being in war, it will change that person. That human being will not be the same forever. And that's how I see that.
Yeah, when you're seeing babies being attacked at birth, when you're seeing people being driven to suicide by reptilians who laugh about it.
Yes, and torturing people.
Yes.
Dark entities torturing people intentionally because they want them to unalive themselves.
Yes.
That will change everybody.
And you're kind of you're like a trailblazer, Zach, because so many people had no idea what was happening on Earth until you came down here to bear witness and help us.
Yes, they didn't know that this actually is happening here. That was the problem. But when I started seeing those things and talking about that, they didn't believe me. And I said, okay, just come over, come see what's going on here. And they did, and they couldn't believe it, and they started helping.
I remember so many times where I'd be like, what is that feeling? And you'd be like, oh, there's just somebody popping in. And I'd be like, who's the somebody? And you'd be like, oh, it's an Andromedan or something like that. And I'd be like, what are they doing? And they said, they're reading your report over your shoulder. I was like, there's a couple times like that where we had visitors pop in out of curiosity to observe our sessions. In fact, we usually do have quite an audience, don't we?
Yes, yes, they like to observe. Some races are not involved directly like we are, but they like to help different way. Maybe with healing after, things like that.
Yes. Somebody said, how do they not know? But the other day, I was having a conversation about the Orion Wars and learning about how they weren't aware of things. And things can happen even on this planet that we aren't aware of. There could be a disaster that happens in a third world country. And if the news isn't there to report it, nobody knows what's happened. It doesn't get reported. So a lot of this happens, and there's a lot of disinfo as well about what's happening here on Earth in the galactic sense. Like the Federation puts a lot of false info out there for the other races. And so there's a lot of learning curves, not just for us humans down here, but for the galactics that come here to help us.
Yes, of course, they didn't know what was happening because they were not here. They were not living here. They didn't understand.
Yes. So, for most of the veterans here on Earth, I'm just curious, how do you think it's going for them? Do you think many of them are going to be able to leave after this lifetime, or do you think many of them are still kind of stuck in the whole reincarnation karmic cycle loops?
I think 80% will go home.
Really?
Yes.
That's a wonderful number to hear.
Yes.
They're getting all this extra help from new star seeds, and that's what's helping our odds.
That's exactly what's happened because it will be much harder without support and then new star seeds supporting them. So it's a great relationship if there is a couple and one of them is a star seed and one is veteran, because the new star seed is kind of lost here and doesn't know anything about the money, doesn't know how to survive on this planet, but the veteran is already quite familiar with everything. So the veteran knows about the money, they can get good job, and the new star seed is here to just be here, just to help, support. They love to do all kind of different healing, which is not, as I learned, it's not very profitable job here if you are a Reiki healer or something like that. So it's great relationship because it's support of each other. The new star seed is supporting the veteran with the vibration frequencies, their patience and the love, and showing them the way. And the veteran is supporting the new star seed financially and just showing the new star seeds how the matrix works.
Yes, and the 5D shift is helping with this as well. People are starting to wake up all over.
Yes, exactly.
There were some things about the 5D shift that I wasn't expecting, though. I had a very love and lighty perspective on it a couple of years ago where I thought everything's just going to get easier, right? The vibrations are going up, right? So things should be getting easier. Everybody should be getting nicer to each other. And that's not exactly how the shift is going, is it?
No, it's not like that because a lot of people can handle the high frequencies, the very high vibrations. They just can't handle it. They losing their minds.
Losing their minds how? Through
It's
entity attacks, but also through their own thinking, their own thought forms, and their own confusion in regards to what's real and what isn't. But when you're in a holographic reality, how do you even know what's real sometimes, especially when you can see all the different layers that exist?
yes, because of the frequencies are changing so quickly, people are not used to it. So they have pains and aches and heart palpitations, and they just, everything is going too fast for them. So I'm talking about the unawakened ones. So things are going too fast and they don't know what to do about that. And their minds they can't keep up with the speed of the shift. So they used to the different reality. They had everything figured out. Everything was rather simple. And now everything is backwards, upside down. And they can't keep up with that.
Yes. And if you're not aware that you are a gifted individual, entities can kind of exploit your gifts, huh? And humans will even gaslight you and tell you don't have any gifts and that you're just crazy.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So you got a mix between the entities that are exploiting your gifts and the humans that are diminishing your gifts. And then we have a very confused human in the middle of all this, trying to realize who they actually are and why they're here. And this causes a lot of turmoil in their life, doesn't it?
Yes, definitely. But it's very important to find support groups even online, so you can talk about things like that, so you don't think you are crazy. And for people who are really not sure what's going on, grounding is extremely important. Going in nature, grounding, feet on the ground, grounding is extremely important in those times. So you're not floating somewhere. You're not in La La Land. You are here, boots on the ground, and you're trying to do your best, because this is a battle. We need every soldier possible. Because when you're staying sovereign and you're staying grounded, you know who you are, and you trying your best, that's the best you can do. And that's how you're helping, because you are staying in high vibration. You're very strong. Nobody can push you around.
Yes.
That's the best, what we are hoping for.
That's a big red flag too. If all of a sudden you feel dizzy out of nowhere, something hits your grounding, that's a red flag for a psychic attack, isn't it? Especially for reptilians. They love to hit your grounding.
Yes, right away. And
when that happens, you call in your gatekeeper and you call in backup.
Yes. And the other very, very red flag is when you are just having a normal day, everything is going well, and you start having intrusive thoughts or thoughts from your past, like something terrible happened to you in the past. Somebody did something to you, or you did something you're ashamed of. And this is popping in your head out of nowhere, but it's always from the past. Sometimes it's related to a trauma that you have, and you're not thinking about it at all. So, this is basically reptilians or the other dark entities trying to exploit this trauma, and they can manipulate people's mind, and they can do that. So as soon as if you look at this thought from outside and you look at that and think, what is this all about? Why are you here? I don't like you, go away. I don't want to think that. That's the end of the story. But if you start entertaining this thought and thinking, going back to the past, start thinking that this person did this to you and why they did this, you don't deserve this, and your vibrations are going lower and lower and lower. And that's how your etheric field opens up and you are hooked. So, being extremely mindful about your thoughts and recognizing that is not your thought that is implanted there, you are at that point, you are very powerful, because as soon as any thought comes into your head that is intrusive or negative, you shut this down, you shut the door, and the game is over.
But our most vulnerable state isn't even while we're awake, is it?
Yes, that's very important, to protect your dream state.
Yes, because they love to mess with our dream state. They'll recycle our trauma in our dreams over and over. They'll work on our insecurities and our fears and the things that we're working on, the things that we're not working on the most, because then they can kind of recycle that as nightmare fuel.
Yes, of course.
And then they can even sneak dark contracts and things in when you're in your dream state. You make agreements in your dream state without even being aware of it. And those agreements can even be enough to, in a way, kind of push back your own soul guides. The entities can replace your own soul guides through contracts.
Yes, that can happen. So it's very important to
major sabotage in your life. Yes.
Yes, it's very important to protect yourself, to learn psychic protection and protect yourself. The same like you always say when you're going to a forest in summertime and there's mosquitoes, you put a mosquito repellent on your skin. So the same, you need to protect yourself, because you know there are bigger mosquitoes around. But you protect yourself and you trust the protection. if you start worrying or you start
Doubting.
overthinking or doubting, those thoughts are very low vibrational. So you immediately have no protection.
Yes. So this is one of the most important things for everybody, not just star seeds. Everybody in general needs to protect their
Yes,
dream
everybody.
states. So
Yes.
every
And
night you go to bed in a high vibe state. You remember they say don't go to bed angry, right? That's an old adage that people used to say. That's a good thing, hey?
absolutely.
To go to bed in a happy high vibe state.
Yes. In general, if you are in high vibrations, if you're happy, like children, most children are very happy and joyful, then they save because you are too difficult. You are too difficult. There's many people around. They are easy target. They don't need to pick on
Work
you
extra hard, yes.
because you are hard to get. They not that motivated.
So if you're not making yourself an easy target, then entities will go elsewhere.
Yes, there is a lot of people around, millions of people they can pick on.
But every once in a while, you do get those special cases where somebody just keeps getting harassed over and over and over again. And we tend to find that there's some, it's as you said earlier, the entities remember, they know who you are better than you do sometimes.
Yes, that's the problem. You don't remember who you are, but they know who you are. They know your future. So if you are a powerful healer, you're growing to be a powerful healer or powerful um, helper to humanity. Of course, they don't like that.
Yes. So they'll do everything they can to thwart you.
Yes.
And we do notice that a lot of healers are also dealing with what I've been calling like a typhoid Mary situation, where healers get compromised and don't even know they're compromised. They replace the original guides in a sneaky way, doing it a lot of times during the dream state. And then the healer doesn't realize that every time they're doing healing on somebody, their clients are getting psychic attacked or at least getting cords and hooks and things from the false guides that they have. We find this quite often that healers are compromised, don't we?
Unfortunately, that's the case too. Yes.
So how would a healer recognize whether or not their guides have been kind of replaced or tricked by an entity?
It will be very hard for that particular healer to recognize that if that healer doesn't practice any form of psychic protection.
Or validation of their guides.
And that's exactly it. But reaching to another person who does clearings, or we call it spirit release, um, it's always very helpful to validate that.
Yes. So when somebody might be dealing with one of those scenarios, there's occasionally some red flags that might happen, but people tend to ignore those or gaslight themselves.
Yes, their clients will not feel better, that's for sure.
Yes. So somebody said, please tell me how we can set a password with our guides.
You just talk to your guides, make sure they are your guides. Make sure
You're
you're
sovereign first, then call in your guides and you can say, it can be a song, it can be a number, a place, an image in your head. But this is something that you want to keep very quiet so that way the entities are not getting aware of your password.
Yes. And you can always ask your guide, are you from the highest of light? And they have to say yes. But not too many people will actually hear that in their heads. Unless you're a medium, then yes, you will hear that in your head. So I will suggest maybe set a number, a symbols, and things like that, or a song.
I also like to use muscle testing too. I can kind of feel my body. I can ask my body, am I sovereign? And my body will often tell me pretty quickly.
Yes, that's a good idea too.
Yes. So just stand up tall and then call in your higher self, ground yourself, as Zach said, that's very important. And then ask your higher self 3 times, am I sovereign? And every time you hear that in your head, every time you ask, you're supposed to hear an immediate yes in your head. Or just a confounding knowing, like you just know that you got it, that you're sovereign. And then you ask a second time and a third time. And what we've noticed with entities is that they either will hesitate or they will even kind of like, they just sound different. The energy is different. Once you get to know your guides and you really get in tune with your guide, it's kind of like knowing when your best friend is on the phone. They don't have to call and say, hey, it's your best friend. You just know who's calling. As soon as you answer the phone and hear their voice, you just have that, connection, because you've strengthened that through getting to know your best friend over time. So it's very similar with your guides, isn't it?
Yes. Everybody have their own guides, very personal companionship guides, and each of the guides have very different energy signature. So knowing your guides is very important. It's, of course, it will take time to establish the connection with your guides because you cannot see them. So your human mind will reject that because your human mind, if cannot see, touch, or taste, it doesn't believe it exists. So you have override that and just ask your guides come very, very close to you, one by one, not all the whole group together. And you learn there is feels feminine or masculine or is very powerful. Like if you have angelic guide, it's an extremely powerful energy. You can actually get sick from that at first.
Yes, the vibration is so high, it creates nausea feelings.
Yes, because if your vibrations goes quickly up or quickly down, you will feel nauseous. So ask your guides one by one, come very, very close to you. And of course, the energy will be very loving, they love you so much. All your guides love you so much. They don't ever judge you. They don't want ever anything from you. They don't want any prayers. They don't want anything from you at all, any favors or any acknowledgement. They are your friends or family members from your galactic or earth soul family. And they are here to help because they love you. They want to support you on this journey and make this journey easier. So establish the communication with your guides. Talk to them. Have fun with them. Play games with them. If you feel sad or lonely, ask them to come very, very close to you, and you will feel this love around you. Ask them to wrap you in a blanket of love. They can do that, and you will feel that. Just be open for that. Don't don't think they are judging you or they have any negative emotions towards you. They don't. They just pure love, like source. Source is pure love.
And they don't ask you for things either. That's one of the red flags. If you'll know if you're dealing with an imposter, they don't tell you what to do, and they won't even pressure you in any way, shape, or form.
Yes, they will never ask you to do anything for them. They are here to help you on this journey. They don't want anything from you, and they're extremely happy to help you. So ask for anything you want, but be very specific. The more details, the better. And just ask them for specific signs. Ask them to show you a butterfly or something. Doesn't even, it could be quite ridiculous. And just keep your eyes open because they will show you that. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, because if it's a really big request, they may have to get ready for that.
A lot of people are asking, what is the best way to communicate with your guides? They don't read your mind, do they?
No, they don't read your mind. I don't know where this idea came from that anybody can read your mind. Your guides are outside of you. So they are individuals outside of you. They have their own personalities, likes, dislikes. But please remember, they are very loving. But they don't read your mind. Talk to them like you're talking to a friend on the phone. Call them over, and if you have their names, great. If you don't, you can name them yourself. They have no ego, they don't care. You can name them yourself, and they will be more than happy to receive the name and start the conversation. Talk to them loud or telepathically in your mind. but direct the conversation to them, because human mind is a mess. There's million thoughts a second. There is your shopping list. There is your uh, all the chores that you need to do today. There's so many things coming and going through your mind. So when you start talking to your guides, just talk to them. Don't try to think about other things at the same time.
You can also whisper, yeah? You don't have to talk to them very loudly.
No, you can, of course, you can whisper. You can talk to them in your mind,
You
telepathically.
have to telepathically reach out to them with that intention to speak with them in your mind.
Exactly.
That's through mediumship, really, to do it that way. But if you don't set the intention, they're not just sitting there reading your everyday thoughts.
No, they don't do that.
No. So if you want to connect with them through thought, then you meditate and call them in.
Yes, you have to directly talk to them.
Yes. So you can talk to them telepathically, but they're not just going to read your thoughts as you're walking around the grocery store and going about your day and all that. I do think I'm kind of a funny person because I'm talking to my guides in public all the time. Sometimes I even put a Bluetooth in my, like, I don't have it on or anything, but I'm just walking around talking to Fergus or something. And I don't really care if people notice that I'm talking to myself, but I do get some looks on occasion. So
At least you can blame on the Bluetooth right now. 50
exactly.
years ago, they will lock you somewhere.
Well, that's what they used to do back in the day. They used to lock us up. They'd even burn us at the stake if we were talking to spirits.
That's right.
It's nice that they can't do that anymore, but they do still try and medicate us. It's kind of sad that so many therapists around the world are not accepting that mediumship is actually a thing.
Well,
but here you are.
They will be proven wrong very soon.
So just out of curiosity, in regards to this shift, what do you see happening over the next year, perhaps? Do you think things are going to start ramping up and changing?
Yes. This is the first year when things are going to go a little faster. Because that was all the years before, they were kind of like a preview. And this is the first year when we starting to go much faster. As you can see, more and more people awakening, more and more people are listening to me. I don't think anybody will listen to me 5 years ago. They will think that this is all crazy. But people are very open-minded right now. They know something is not right. They can feel it.
Yeah.
They can feel it that something is just not right with this whole matrix situation. And they're looking for answers. And they're working on themselves really hard. A lot of people are healing. They're finding their own tribes. They're supporting each other. A lot of people getting out of the matrix. They leaving their jobs. They doing something else. They leaving the matrix, just moving into the country. Yes, they have to work in corporations to support themselves. That's okay. But a lot of people I'm seeing, they are not paying so much attention to the material stuff like before. Yes, the other people are still, there's a lot of people, they're still chasing the newest iPhone and things like that, but a lot of people are rejecting that.
Yes.
And that's very promising.
People are starting to reject a lot of things that no longer, feel like they're the right thing.
Yes,
right
they seeing through the matrix. They slowly exiting the matrix, seeing that they were slaves, that they have beautiful homes, but they cannot enjoy the homes because they work all day. And they rejecting that idea more and more, that maybe I will have a smaller home, but I will have more time to enjoy it. I would like to go fishing or kayaking or spending time in nature. More and more people doing that, and that's very promising.
Yes. What an exciting time to be here.
Yes.
Why so many stars chose this time at this place at this junction because of all the changes that are happening.
Yes, you all chose to be here at this time because you were curious. You wanted to be here, to be part of this.
Got front row seats. In fact, some of us are even on stage. Yes. Quite literally. I can't believe we had nearly 600 people watching the podcast today. We got up to 595. That's crazy. You're very popular, Zach, and so is Adrianna.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. So we've got big things coming in regards to spirit release, and I'm just curious, how do you see that evolving over the next couple of years?
It will be evolving for sure because people can see the difference. When people get clearing, they can see the difference and they talking about it to their friends and families, and their families talk about it to their friends and families, because as you know, you don't really advertise that. It's all about referrals. And when we do clearing for somebody and they're feeling so good, they recommend to their parents and friends and families, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Look how things are moving right now and what was happening a year ago. There's a huge difference of amount of people reaching out for help because they understand that something is not right, and they feel, sometimes for the first time in their entire life, they feel sovereign, and they know finally who they really are, and they don't want to lose that. So they start asking more questions. And that's why we have 600 people here, because they're curious and they know this is very important information.
Yes. Just out of curiosity, how's the clearing going for the whole group today? That was a big one. With clearing nearly 600 people. How did that go? You've completed, I take it, by now. You guys work very quickly.
Yes, of course, we did.
It's kind of like, 5 people that each Solatian had to clear. So, keeping you guys very busy down here, aren't we?
That's okay. We are very happy to do that, because that's each person that is sovereign, it raises the vibration of the planet. So then imagine a scale. The scale is on our favor, on our side is our favor, because the scale, each sovereign person, it makes a difference.
Yes. Yes, they do.
So we are very happy to do that.
I'll never forget, I think it was Chen that said that with every clearing we do, every earthbound we cross, every beastie we send to source, we are upticking the vibrations and one step closer to the 5D shift.
Exactly. That's exactly what is happening.
But the frustrating side is that the dark side knows this, and it's a bit of a tug of war match, because every time we uptick the frequency, they try to lower it with drama and programming and just toxic bullshit like they always do.
Yes,
and all that.
But as you can see, more and more people are curious about this, and this is going quite well. So it cannot be stopped anymore. And the knowledge is going out there. That's very important.
Yes. We had a couple late stragglers who are joining the podcast, and we're even going to have people that will be joining the podcast later on and watching the recording, but the clearing is still effective, right? You guys know when someone is watching the recording, or even now you can kind of sense when somebody's coming in and needs a clearing.
Yes, of course, because you're connecting to this energy. We connected.
Yes.
So even later,
they didn't miss anything. The people showing up now didn't miss the clearing, and the people watching the recording later today, they didn't miss it either.
No, you can watch it later, and the clearing will be effective, of course.
Yes.
Because everything is energy, vibrations, and frequencies. So when you get connected to this video later, it's still effective.
Wonderful. This quantum nature of reality thing is very confusing, but I'm so grateful for everything that you've been teaching us, Zach, because, we've learned so much from you and from Adrianna and from all the other guides. And knowledge is power. as they say. And we are able to stand in our power now much stronger because of all this knowledge that you've been giving us. And we just are so grateful, Zach, for everything. Thank you.
Yes, you're very welcome. And the most important is to stand in your power. Remember who you are and don't let anybody to disrespect you or push you around. You are eternal consciousness having this human experience, but you are very powerful. You are source. We all are. It's just very often humans forget about that because of the matrix. But if you remember that all the time on daily basis, then you are enormous force.
Yes. Thank you so much, Zach. And to everybody that joined us today, for the record, we do just remove entities. So if you feel that you need a deeper clearing in regards to dark contracts that you may have made with an entity, you will have to book a clearing with us in order to get that ratified. But we're happy to assist. And we're building our team bigger and bigger every day, aren't we, Zach?
Yes, that's very promising too.
Thank you so much for everything, Zach. We love you a lot. I look forward to speaking with you this evening when we chase more beasties.
Yes, thank you for having me on the podcast. I hope everybody is feeling better, and I will see you later today.
Thank you,
Goodbye.
Zach. See you soon. Bye-bye. Hello.
Hello. Whew.
You won't believe how many people we had on the podcast at our peak today while Zach was doing the clearing. I think it was really funny because right as we were doing the clearing, we hit our peak numbers. I was like, people were just able to tune in for a moment, get the clearing they needed, and then bounce again. Well, that's great. We don't care. We're just happy that everybody was able to join us. We had 595 people join us at our peak.
Wow.
That's a new record for this podcast. So thank you very much. You can tell that you've already been touching lives with your posts and all of your readings that you've been doing and the clearings that we do together. And we're so blessed. I'm reading Janet's comment. Janet says, you need to ask Adrianna to do a trance mediumship class.
Oh, I can't.
Maybe Zach can teach it.
I don't know how this is done. I didn't learn anything from anybody. It just happened. It's like, okay. And that was all pre-planned. And I always trust the spirit. And it was like, my name is Zach and this and that. And I'm like, you sound nice. I can feel it's like, it's a lovely energy. It's not funky or anything. Then that's it. That's how I started. I didn't learn from anybody, so I don't know how to teach it.
How cool would it be though if we got Bradley and Adrianna to teach that class, but then you both go into trance and we got Sam and Zach, two Solatians, teaching the class? I'm telling you, that'd be a popular one. I bet you Sam and Zach would be wonderful teachers in that regard, helping people with their mediumship.
We'll have to ask Zach then. I'm not sure. Because as me, I don't know anything. I don't know how to. Bradley maybe, because Bradley was, taking time with this and learning it.
Bradley's chuckling at the idea, but I'm serious, Bradley. I may be laughing about it, but I'm still serious. Absolutely, would be wonderful. Carolyn's here. Yes, Carolyn would also be wonderful at that. We're so blessed with the mediums that we have in our academy. We're like a big family, aren't we?
Yes.
I think that's what gives us our greatest strength, because you notice a lot of people who are doing similar spiritual release work, who are clearing entities and things. But if you're working alone, it does make you an easier target, doesn't it? They can kind of pick on you more. So us being in a group, always looking after each other and supporting each other and really stepping up when one of us have kind of tripped in some regard, whether it's health or family stuff or anything like that, being a strong support network has really made all the difference, hasn't it?
Yes, you have to have support. Somebody have to have your back. It's the same like in the army. one soldier goes to do something and the other ones are spotting him or something like that, right? Then yes, it's very important to have a backup.
Yes. Well, after today, I think you're going to be a lot more than 2.5 months booked out with sessions.
Well, people can also book SRT clearings with me. They
Yes,
probably not
yes.
aware of it, but they can also book with
This
me.
is a secret loophole that you guys didn't know about, that you can technically book with Adrianna as well. And kind of jump the queue a little bit, because my bookings are at 300 right now, but Adrianna doesn't have a backlog. So if
No.
you're sneaky and you go and book an SRT session through Adrianna's website, you usually will get me anyway, because I'm always doing clearings with her.
I only have you as facilitator.
Yeah, so it's a sneaky way of getting in a bit earlier for those of you who are, don't want to wait 4 weeks. Ooh, right now it's actually 5 weeks. I'm sorry, it's a 5-week backlog right now because I got 300 pending cases. So I get a lot more exposure with the podcast and all the reels and things that my crew are making. So people do book a lot more through me. So just so you know, you can go on to her website. Her website is Adrianna Garay. You can see her name there. Her name is her website.com. So yes, if you guys are interested in booking an Akashic record session or a Meet Your Soul Guide session, those are very popular, right? People want to know who their soul guides are. And you offer opportunities to tune in, make sure the person is sovereign, and to get to know their guides and get some messages from their guides, get their name, maybe get a little bit of history of how you know each other. And that helps you also set up passwords with them and build up a stronger relationship and connection. Because once you know your guides and you get to strengthen that connection, it really changes the relationship, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. So yeah, I'm a channel medium also for this, for the work of Akashic Record and meet the guides, because I can see the guides, I can connect with them, I can get messages from the guides. So yes, if somebody needs to know the guides, then I can do that.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm just curious, what's the most interesting soul guide you've ever met through a session?
A tree.
Tree. So yes, I remember you talking about the tree soul. It was a very powerful vibration to have
Oh
a
my
tree.
goodness. I was like, oh, I didn't know what was happening, because it was just before the session. I sit down on the front of the computer waiting for the person to come in online, right? And I feel this energy. It's like, oh my goodness, who is this? But I cannot see it yet because I need to connect to the person to get full view, right? It has to be three of us, like the person, the guides, and me. So I cannot see it yet. I can only feel the energy. And I'm like, what is this? Like, my goodness, this is powerful energy. Sometimes Urma guides are very powerful too, but
Yes,
that was
the
more
lion
than
and the
that.
tiger guides. Yes.
Yeah, that was more powerful. So that was very interesting. And other, all the galactic guides are quite interesting. And then I've seen some unicorns, dragons, all different dragons, of course, different spirit animals, but they don't talk to me. I just see them.
I'm just curious. Do you remember whether or not that tree was for an earth seed? Was it an
Yes,
earth seed that had the
yes,
tree? I
yes,
think
yes,
okay, that
yes.
makes sense. Yes,
It
an earth
was a
seed.
very lovely soul, but it was Earth soul, and she's very connected to Earth. I believe she is a healer, like a sound healer or something, Reiki healer, something like that.
Very well grounded. Having a
Yeah.
tree as a guide. Yes.
So that I've seen actually a tree just recently, but not as big tree, with a starseed, because the starseed needed grounding. It was always floating over here. So it was like, we need to bring that person into the body. So it's like, oh, and the guides were basically like frustrated, and they didn't know what to do anymore. It's like, okay, we need to bring a tree. So they brought a tree to ground this person all the time. So because star seeds have tendency to leave the body, they just, not in the body, they up here. so it's like, no, you need to be in the body. So that's what they did. They brought, I'm like, why there is a tree with a star seed? And they like, we need to do that because it needs to be grounded more.
Doesn't even have to be a big tree. You can give me a lilac bush. I'll be happy.
Yes.
Just a little bit of grounding would be fantastic. Thank you. Yes. So, one of the other things that somebody was just asking a moment ago was a good question. Was Chantal saying, "Do you often find that soul guides are so strict, like mine were?"
Yes, because yours were probably fed up with your nonsense.
That cracked me up, Chantal. Love you. But it's
Yeah,
true.
some guys
Sometimes guides are like, like.
Yes, we doing everything we can, but you still doing your shenanigans. So it's like, we done with this nonsense. You need to do this and this and this and that. Otherwise, we're
I'm
gonna
sure
make
they
it.
just want to shake us. You know what
Yes.
I mean? Like, this is their form of shaking us and going, "What's wrong with you? Come on, stand in your power, know your worth. Stop taking that bullshit from people."
Yeah, and that's not it. I had higher self come to the session to tell the person that has enough of this nonsense.
Oh, when the higher self comes in, we're like, oh, like that's like being sent to the principal's office as a soul.
Yes, and I'm like, oh, I can feel the higher self coming, and I'm like, oh, this is not going well. Oh no.
There's a couple times the higher self comes in, and every time it's like, like enough is enough. Like,
but when the higher self comes, it's usually like, either you do this or we're gonna make it worse.
Yes. Usually it's like a last ditch effort. They're like, look, you're gonna shape up or else. It's kind of the vibe. That's why I say it's like the principal's office. You're just kind of like, enough is enough of your riffraff. Like, you're gonna shape up or we're gonna get you. And they don't mean it in a bad way, but they mean stop fucking around.
Yeah, because they're, like, I have a friend that is actually doing the same lesson for 50 years. The same lesson. And I can see it. It's the same lesson. And I'm trying to talk to her, but she is not open-minded like that. And it's like talking on a very different frequencies. Even if I say something, they can't hear me because the frequency is very different. Yeah. So even if I'm trying to help and tell her, like, maybe this is not the way, this is you repeating the same pattern for 50 years.
It's like Groundhog Day every day, yes, over and over, the same shit. The higher self must get fed up. I can imagine.
And then it's like,
are like, oh,
and it's getting worse every time. Every year is getting worse, and it's like, and I'm standing, I know what's going on, and I'm standing as observer, and I feel very sad about that. But I know this person signed up for this particular lesson and is not learning, and eventually it's gonna get really bad. Because the higher self will be like, I'm done with this. Like, you either learn right now or we're done with this. So
yes. What an exciting time to be here, though. Even with all the drama and all of the riffraff, we're still having a great time, aren't we? We love our job.
Yes. Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love doing what I do. Yes, I love it.
I wouldn't change it for any other job in the world. Yeah. Nothing.
And,
there's nothing else I prefer to do than what we're doing right now together.
And I'm learning something from the guides that I'm doing session with. I'm learning something new all the time. Like, when I start doing this, connecting to the guides, I just pass the messages, what they had to say to the people. But listening to that, I'm learning as well.
And if you want to do this job, we are training. We do training every 6 months. We'll be doing it again in April. So if you do want to get involved in helping us, and it's funny too, some people sign up as facilitators planning to do my job, where you are asking the soul guides the questions and doing the detective work in the clearing. But then we noticed that a lot of people sign up as a facilitator, and they become mediums quickly, like our beloved Bradley did.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
He signed up as a facilitator, and the next thing you know, his mediumship gifts came online. They're like, you're ready. This is why you're here.
Mm-hmm.
but also getting clearings every time you sit down to do clearings, being sovereign all the time. It really does help you in regards to getting your vibration up, standing in your power, and really just, embracing your true path in life, because there's nothing trying to knock you off of it. There's a lot of comments today. I think we're going to be over 2,000 comments today easily.
Oh God.
Well, thank you. I wasn't expecting this to be a full 2-hour conversation, but I should have assumed it would be, because we always have so much fun hanging out and chatting, don't we, Adrianna?
Yes, we always have something to talk about.
Yes. And to those of you who are just tuning in now, if you watch the replay, you can get the recording, and it'll be popping up very shortly, and you'll be able to get a clearing. Even if you just watch the recording, you'll still be able to get a clearing from the guides.
So, and I hope you can feel the difference. I didn't read the comments. If there
did anybody feel a difference real quick? Do you mind sharing? Do you feel better after the clearing today? Anybody notice anything as the clearing was happening? They have been kind of working this whole time, really, because we had such a large group today. Still can't believe how big of the group was. It was wild. So does anybody notice? A couple people did say they noticed chills, and that one person said they already felt better. I did notice that earlier. So many thanks to everybody for just being a part of this conversation today, because I do love all of your questions. Some of you had some really great questions today. Jessica said she felt tingles when Zach came in. Justin said he 100% feels the difference. Yes, the clearing was happening during the talk. The guides can work in ways that we weren't really expecting, huh? They're always kind of working.
Well, Zach is almost like a spokesperson. Yes. He talks, but his people doing the clearing, right? Like he doesn't need to do that himself anymore. He started, and when he started, he was doing everything himself. But now when we're doing a clearing, yes, he participates. But when he was talking during the podcast, then there is so many Solatians can do the same thing. They are trained to do that.
Yes. Wonderful. But a lot of people said they fell asleep. We weren't being that boring, were we? You guys falling asleep during the clearing. Lots of people saying they felt lighter. Lots of people saying they felt chills. Mm-hmm. Yes. Wonderful. Lots of people, some people even said they felt some tears coming in. They started crying. I remember that earlier. Some people were saying they had a lot of emotions coming out. It's a good release, hey, when that happens.
Yes, sometimes, because when I'm doing sessions like Akashic record or guidance with the guides or anything, people get clearing talking to me. So I'm talking to them, doing the reading, and they start crying because they getting a clearing, not even knowing about it, because sometimes I forget to tell them. But Zach always clear everybody, because I have to be sure that I'm talking to sovereign individual, not under influence, and they getting clearing, just like a simple clearing. And they can feel it. They feel very emotional. They feel lighter. They feel wonderful on the end of the session. Not because what I told them, because sometimes the things that we talk about are heavy, not very nice, but they feel much better for some reason because
of the release. Yeah. Yes. Plus you get the context and you understand things better, and that helps you a huge. I mean, honestly, I think the context is one of the biggest, most important things in an Akashic Records reading. To know why things are the way they are and have those answers changes your whole life in some regard.
Yes, it does. Because now you know why you have this phobia, why you have,
trauma or personality issues. Yeah.
Why you have food addiction, or why you have hoarding food, or
imposter syndrome.
Yeah. Or why you're afraid of certain things, why you're afraid of water, things like that, because of the things that happened in the past.
Yes. Wonderful. Well, we will be sharing a lot more about SRT training. I see a couple of you are interested. So yes, if you go on my website, astralara.com, you'll be able to purchase the pre-recorded versions if you don't want to wait until April. Otherwise, you can join us in April for the live clearings. The live training sessions we'll be doing. We'll be doing the psychic protection and spiritual hygiene course again. That's the most important one of all, in my opinion. Psychic protection and spiritual hygiene should be learned by everybody. So if you haven't actually gone on there before and taken that class, I highly recommend it. It's one of the most important ones that Zach says people should take, eh?
Yes, psychic protection is like everybody should know. Every single human on this planet should know how to protect themselves. So
yes. And then we'll be doing SRT1 after that. And SRT1 is you do learn how to do self-clearings in SRT1. We also teach you everything that you learn about the cases that we do. We tell you about entities and earthbounds and implants and portals and past life trauma. We go through everything. So if you want to understand your reports and you're not even interested in doing this work, SRT1, the recording on my website, is highly recommended for those of you just to understand what we do and what we clear.
Yes, so. And I've seen some people asking, they don't know really what to ask during Akashic Records. The way I'm doing Akashic Records, I am connecting to your guides, and they're helping me to find the most important things in your life. So I am not just going randomly in your Akashic Records, opening something and it's completely irrelevant or not important in your life at all. That you were a princess running around on a unicorn. That means absolutely.
That's not the kind of session you get with Adrianna.
Yeah. No. Like we go to the important, your guides knows what is important for you to know. So they're helping me to go to your records to find important information. And that's not always fun information, but important information. Yes, we go to.
Guides been waiting your whole life to tell you some of this stuff.
Oh yeah, like sometimes I have people coming and the guides are like, "Oh my goodness, I've been waiting for this for all the time to." And when they have you face to face, they're gonna give so much information. Sometimes I'm so thirsty after talking because I'm like talking like that.
And sometimes they really let you have it too out of frustration, right, Chantal? Where they have this their first time to be heard, and they're like, "Now I can speak. Finally, I have some things to say." You're like,
yes. Yeah. So if you don't have particular questions, we're just gonna go with the flow and listen to your guides. What they think is important for you to know, and they know you best. They know you even before you were human here, or before you in this incarnation. So they know what you need to know. And I rely on that. So
you don't even need to make a list of questions. The guides will generally take a handle of the session and be like, this is what's really, going on in her life. And she needs to know this, this, and this. So even if you don't come up with your own questions, the guides will help you to know what you need to know.
Yes. And sometimes people come with full list of questions, and the guides start talking and I don't stop them. And on the end of the session, I'm finally getting a breath. It's like, okay, do you have any questions? And the person is like, no, they answer all my questions.
I didn't even have to go through.
And I'm like, oh, thank goodness, because it's like, I don't want people to go, finish the session. It's like, oh, I have this question and this question. The guides knows, they always do. But questions are always welcome. Yes, if you can think of questions, that's great. We can focus on the questions.
Wonderful. It's really tailor-made for every person. Whether you're an earth seed, a veteran, a star seed, or even an angel seed, we find,
yes,
we can tailor make the sessions exactly as you're needed, because the guides are the ones that are really running the session.
Yes. I had I didn't have too many angel seeds, as we call it. They're basically angels coming to be humans.
Yes, so they're very rare.
All the crew that they have is like all angels. I had 6 angels as spirit guides. I was like, I could hardly breathe because their energy is so massive. Mm-hmm. I was like, you need to step away from me, like go away, because I can't concentrate. I can't keep my thoughts together. the energy is massive. So, so we have those two helping with the shift.
Wonderful. We are so blessed. Thank you so much, Adrianna. I really loved this conversation today, but I got to go chase beasties with Carolyn. Speaking of the angels, I got to go and chase beasties with an angel right now.
Yes.
So I'm just going to put down her link one more time, Adrianna Garay. As you guys can see, we have her name up there. If you can just type in her name into Google, but you'll see it as well. But Adrianna Garay is there's the name. So if you guys would like to book a session, either through SRT, a Meet Your Soul Guide session, or an Akashic Record session, you'll be able to do so through her website.
Thank you.
And she'll be seeing Adrianna. If you sign up for training in SRT, you'll be seeing her as well. She's one of our SRT instructors, and she helps us a great deal with clearings in that regard and does a lot of pro bono work for us too. So thank you so much for everything, Adrianna. You are such a gift.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming and listening. I really appreciate everybody.
Love you all so much. I look forward to seeing you guys on the podcast tomorrow. See you soon.